Oh, look at that. Let's get the elevation fixed. I had it. It was right. Drop it down just a little more. All right, let's see if I can get the exposure happy. What's this button do? Normal, beam, blush. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get the light to look better. It's like super overexposing me because the living room's kind of dark. Oh well, I guess not. There's all these, hey bass angler, there's all these color settings, but none of them allows you to adjust exposure. All right, let's close that junk. All right. Welcome to chat. Remember, guard your privacy. Why is it telling me that? Anyway, tonight, what I want to talk about is Nikkor lenses. Notice older Nikkor lenses on your new Nikon mirrorless camera. I had a question come in, and I thought it's a really good question. A viewer wrote in and asked if I could check and see. Hey, Phil, thank you for checking in. Go Vols. For real. Where are they going to go? Whataburger? All right. The question arose. Toilet bowl. Ah, that's a good one. Oh, okay. The question arose, would the Z6 meter? You know, it'll use the G series lenses just fine with this. Ricky Ricardo, I have the Nikon F3. Dude, you're killing me. You know how bad I want an F3? That's like the pinnacle of their film cameras. Yeah, they made the 4, 5, and 6, but there was too much automation. The F3 was the magic. I would love to have an F3 with that HP viewfinder. That'd be sweet. Does yours have that? No, went down a rabbit hole on the Nikon F3. Anyway, he was asking if the AI and AIS lenses would meter on the Z6 and if the chipped lenses would work. All right. I had to get out the trusty D810 to test my chip lenses because I know it works with these. And what we're talking about is, so this is a 28 millimeter AIS, and I've added that chip to it so that it'll tell the camera what kind of lens it is. All right. So I've plugged it onto the FTZ adapter, and when I power up the camera, it's showing f2.8 right here. All right, y'all can probably see that. Yeah, right there, it says f2.8. All right, as I dial the aperture is actually adjusting as it should. I don't know if y'all can tell. Maybe I'll back it up a little bit. It looks like it's metering. So if I take a photo, that's at f2.8, and then I back it down to f9, which was much longer. It's overexposed, I think, because I moved it up toward the light as I was exposing the frame. But it metered. Now, y'all can't see it on there. But on here, there's an image. It's not white. Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it. But yeah, it meters. Now, with the AIS but non-chipped lens, okay, we'll take off the chip lens. I have the 135 AIS, but it's the Series E. But it is AIS encoded. It has the notch and it has the little catch on it to catch the feeler for the aperture, which doesn't have the FTZ adapter, doesn't have the aperture feeler on it. But if I turn it on, it doesn't know what the aperture is. Right off, it's giving me the double dashes. But I am getting an image on the screen. The screen is showing, well, yeah, y'all can kind of tell. If I point it towards something that ain't white, you can kind of see. It's a properly exposed frame. It's allowing me to focus. It doesn't know the f-stop. If I change the aperture, it actually is adjusting the shutter speed to match to keep me properly exposed on my light meter. I also have it overexposed by 1 1/3 stops for some reason. Let's turn that off. Let's see. Now, that looks a lot more reasonable. Yeah, see, y'all can see it now. But 1/6 second exposure of the cuckoo clock. this was working. It's metering. Now, it has no idea what the aperture is. It's doing like my XT3. When I run adapted lenses on the XT3, it's the same exact thing. It doesn't know an aperture value, but what it's looking at is the actual number or data. It's looking at the exposure hitting the sensor, and it's adjusting the shutter speed based on my ISO choice until I'm getting my histogram kind of centered. So it's actually working surprisingly well with a vintage lens with no CPU data in it. I guarantee you, if I went in, it still ain't gonna know the aperture of because it don't have an aperture feeler on the adapter. Fail. Nikon dropped the ball. They didn't put an aperture feeler on the adapter, so they don't know the aperture on these old lenses. Yeah, figures. I didn't even notice it until I tried this trick today. But yeah, they will meter with AI and AIS lenses on the FDZ adapter. Let's see what else we got coming up on the, make sure I ain't missed anything. Okay, we're caught up on comments. But yeah, this adapter, I haven't really messed with it much. I used it one night with, I have the 105 f2 DC defocus control lens, and I was using it to shoot indoors one night. They're just trying to sell you a new lens. Yeah, they are. And after shooting with this bad boy, I can see how they can successfully do it. Somebody made the comment that the lens may not be as good as we're thinking it is because they might be doing some trickery in the camera to get rid of some of the color shift. And if they are, they're doing it well. So well that you can't tell. You know, even in Lightroom or Capture One or whatever software you're using, when you do the defringe or you get rid of the purple shift or whatever, it's still, you can tell that line is kind of still there. It don't perfectly remove it. It's not here in these lenses. I can't believe it. FTZ needs a screwdriver focus thingy. Needs a flip screen. Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize how much I like the XT3s hinging up this way. That allows you to get down low and shoot the vertically oriented shots next to the ground without having to get down on the ground. That kind of surprised me that how much I used it, because I didn't think it was that big a deal until I was trying to shoot street the other day with this one. Yeah. The FDZ needs the screwdriver focus. Now, there's a little more going on in here than I thought about. They've got a little electric motor in here already, because I've done a little bit of thinking about this. But yeah, there's an electric motor in here that's actuating the aperture feeler on the G series lenses. So because I could hear it, like if I put this one back on, let's see, we might be able to hear it on that 28 mil right there. Let's see, is this the right one? Yeah. Let's see what we can hear. Okay, let's pump the ISO to about 10,000 because you can do that with the Z6. There we go. Now we have a 1/1200th of the shutter speed. Let's see. Yeah, you can't tell, but I can feel it in the adapter. The adapter is indexing. There's a little electric motor in here that steps over and stops down the aperture when you fire the shutter. Because I've got it, I'm shooting it wide open at f2.8, but on the camera it says it's at f8. And so it stops it down, fires the frame, and I can feel it moving it in there. And with the 105, it was more pronounced still. I could definitely feel it there. But I'm taking pictures of everything. But this thing is, this adapter needs that focus motor. I agree, Phil. If it had that, I'd have bought this camera last year. The side flip out screen, yeah. But I'll just tell you the truth. I like using these for vlogging. These, yeah, they're cool, but they're kind of bulky. I mean, you see the difference? I really like how well the Hero 7 works for my video. What does it do with E-series lenses? E-series Oh, let's just find out. You mean like this one? Dude, it's a smorgasbord of Nikon camera equipment on my table right here. Let's see here. Let's just snap this behemoth on right quick. I haven't launched this monster off in a long time. All right. Bump the camera. Yeah. Oh yeah, everything's happy. Dude, it focused. Oh, that's right. This is an autofocus lens. What am I thinking? Let me add a little exposure comp to this. There we go. Brighten that scene up. Dude, this is heavy. The dust particles are present in the photo. I don't know if y'all can tell it or not, but that's the battery charger over on the wall. It's like laser sharp focus. Yeah, you can actually read that you can read the battery name in the charger. It works perfectly with those E-series lenses. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. And here is a secret tool that will help later. The 1.4x teleconverter. Step it up to a big boy lens with this. That's what, 750 millimeters, roughly? 720 millimeters, 740. 700 and change. Maybe it's just 700. It makes it a big, long lens. I keep that in the bag. Dude, that telly is nice. But yeah, that's a whole bunch of camera. It's kind of funny looking with that little tiny camera mod and that giant lens. Yeah. But yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that it metered just fine with these old vintage lenses on it. I really thought it'd give me an error, just to tell you the truth, or ask me to enter the non-CPU lens data. But the XT3 would meter just fine, not knowing the aperture. And I wondered for a while how it did that, but I'm pretty sure they're basing it off of the information coming into the sensor and the histogram. You know, it does a bunch of averaging and comes up with the 18% gray is supposed to be a standard frame. And I think they're using that math to determine exposure when you don't have an f-stop to calculate in. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. But yeah, dude, that's a behemoth. I gotta crack this back apart so I can store it. But yeah, I was kind of curious to see if that would work. But yeah, like this is the old 135 Series E. I don't know if you can read that, Nikon. On my screen currently it's backwards, so I don't know if it is for you guys or not. But that says Series E right there. Which it has the AIS cut right there in the face of the lens. You can see it. Which it's not. That's the lock. Yeah, it doesn't even have the feeler to detect if it's an AIS lens. No. It has no idea. It's just got an aperture control lever right here inside of it to control this mechanical aperture feeler on the lens proper. Yeah. Let's see here. And since this one isn't chipped, it doesn't know what it is. So it has no idea what's going on here. It's kind of interesting though. It gets darker. Maybe it's because I don't have enough f-stop, or I mean aperture. No, that's just 1/4 second. That's weird. It's not metering correctly. It's metering, but it's like let's see if I can show you guys. As I dial through the aperture, see how the aperture gets bright? But maybe it's just adjusting screen brightness. As you can see, the histogram shows it basically the safe is black. So, but you see, well, it's actually darkening down. I've got it on ISO 10,000 and it's got plenty of shutter speed left. It's kind of bizarre. That's aperture priority, no wonder. Let's put it on manual. Let's see. It does exactly like it should on manual. With aperture priority, it doesn't have any aperture numbers to base any information on, so how would it know to, to set the exposure? That was dumb on my part. Sorry, guys. I gave you, hopefully nobody left the video between that revelation and what I was doing just a minute ago, because that would mislead some people. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. And you put it in manual, as you stop down the aperture, it does like it should. You can see it moving it down. Now if I add shutter speed, that's this dial. No. Yeah, it's this dial. Go back down to shutter speed. Whew. Bulb mode, 1/30th of a second. Yeah, those are minutes. Interesting, but yeah. I can keep the histogram centered up pretty easily. In manual, it works fine. But yeah, that was a misstep on my part. They have a shutter in that camera. All right, Amar, I see you. I know you're in there. Wow, David has no hair. I've never noticed. There's a long story as to why I don't have hair on top of my head no more. Actually, the main story, there's two stories technically. One story is, for 50 years, my hair's been slowly falling out. As they say, it first turns gray, then it turns loose. But about 10 years ago, Aperture Priority, the hair disappears. About 10 years ago, one morning, we was getting ready for church. My wife, at the time, I would keep it like a little flat top. I had it cut flat on the top. You know, it's kind of one of them sort of looks like, you know, it kind of gives it style, but keeps it cut really short so it's easy to maintain. And right before church, my wife trimmed it up, and it looked really good. Well, I took my shower, and when I got out of the shower, there was a little stripe right in here. It looked like you missed when you mow the yard, a little spot sticking up right through there. So I told her, it's like, you got to fix that, you know, and it's like 15 minutes till we leave. So I come in here in the kitchen and sit down. She throws the little towel around me that she trims the hair with. She run that thing across through there, and a lot of hair fell off, like a lot of hair. And I felt up there, and it was just to the scalp. And I looked at Teresa, and she was like holding the clippers going. So I told her, you done started now. You got to finish it. We can't go like this. So she buzzed it all off down to the scalp. And once she did that, I went in there and took a razor and cleaned it on up so it looked like something. And for the next year, where my hair was this brilliant white. And then the rest of me was this farmer's tan brown. It looked goofy. But eventually it colored up. It's kind of hard to tell because an iPhone's color rendition is terrible. But that set me on the path to shaving my head. And honestly, me and Teresa like it better. He wants the D6. There you go. Now you're talking. Actually, I want the 1DX Mark III. I ain't ashamed to shoot a decent Canon camera. That thing's gonna be a monster. I'll just be honest with you. Let's see. There's been notes going by. Smooth operator. Oh, Amar's on. Oh, look, Teresa done logged in. She done caught up. Everybody, Teresa's listening. Yeah, Fast Angler caught it. I don't worry about crippled garbage. I shoot photos with my cameras. I don't shoot video. I ain't worried about that garbage. If I was worried about it, I'd be shooting video on this thing. Photos, what's that? Yeah, coming from a wedding and event photography. You done yet? You done? Okay. All right. Yeah, coming from a wedding and event photographer, you don't know what photos are, you know. Clock is fast. Yeah, not really. I don't know what time it is. My phone's engaged in video mode. Wristwatch says it's the same time, so. Nikon's time is up. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I could dig around and come up with a few more of them logos if I looked. The old clock, it's a must. Let's see. Where was I at? Amar's done got me rattled. What do I think about the D780? Fro has the factory. Amar has the Rust Belt building. I'm gonna tell you the truth. The D780, I think, is an answer to a question nobody asked. Just to tell you the truth, I think it was Nikon coming out with a new camera for the sake of having something new at CES. The D750 worked fine for everything that the people that use the D750 wanted it for. And I really think the D780 isn't bringing enough to the table to get those people to upgrade. I've looked at the camera and yeah, it's upgrades, you know, but they're all incremental. They're not enough that a true pro is going to ditch his current equipment for, because Amar can tell you a true pro will latch onto a good piece of equipment and he'll use it till it dies because he doesn't want to have to invest the. Now this one, he doesn't want to have to invest the money in unnecessary equipment. And they're not, real pros don't run out and buy the latest and greatest right off the shoot. They use the gear they have because they've mastered it. And yeah, Amar knows, you don't buy new gear just because it came out. That's a YouTuber, I'll just be honest with you. And what is it with Fro reviewing a Nikon camera? He's a Sony shooter now. He don't even have one. He just had a sheet of paper with a bunch of yellow coloring on it. I watched about 1 minute of that video and left. When I realized he didn't even have a copy of the camera. I was like, why would I watch this? He sold all his Nikon gear. Why is he even talking about it? The views. That's all it was. Let's see what we got here. All right, Maxim is saying either I'm the most honorable YouTuber in the world or somebody else is. He's probably talking about that Monochrome Memoirs guy. I don't know his real name. Amar says he wants a D820. You don't either. What you want is the 1D Extreme. He uses antiques. If it was the same price as the Z6, I'd still buy the Z6. But with the large current price difference, everyone should buy the Z6. Yeah. Jared does film all of his videos on the Z6. He even admitted that the other day. Us Sony people love to tell you how good your cameras are. No, Kentucky. Oh, no. No, you didn't go there, Max. No. Oh. I'll give you that one. I didn't even know he talked about it. Oh, I'm sorry. He posts so many videos that when they come through my news feed or whatever you call that, I don't even look at them anymore. I just scroll them by. So I didn't even know he had brought it up. Last one I seen, he was playing with magnets again. So, yeah, but yeah, I just don't. Honestly, it's a question it's an answer to a question no one was asking, just to tell you the truth. That's the way I feel about it. PX10s. You're welcome. Have you been playing with it much? Oh, I want to make a general announcement to everybody. The D200 that I had been using, last summer and was playing with, I sent it down to Jeremy, the boy that was in the nighttime Chattanooga video with me. I sent it down to him and gave it to him so that he can start using a camera that has the functions, the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed on the outside, because he was using the D3200 and he was actually getting by pretty good with it. But I gave him that camera to basically nudge him along so that he would be a little more motivated to get out and shoot photos, because he expressed his frustration with basically the ISO being buried in the camera and it not having but one control knob. You know, there was issues that he had reached the limit the equipment was placing on him, so he was moving forward. And so I sent him that one, and I also sent him that 35 to 135 zoom lens, which is screw drive focus. That way he can play with that. And gave him a little more focus range too, because I don't think he had anything really telephoto. So we're gonna see where that goes. Hopefully I'll be doing some street photography down in Gaston, Alabama, close to where he lives, pretty soon. Nice lens, ain't it? Yep, screw drive autofocus. I wouldn't have bought the 780. I'm just, with the D810 in my stable, I can't move to the 700 series cameras. Yeah, I know they have good functionality in video and things, and the D810 has pretty terrible video specs. It shoots HD, but it won't autofocus at all. You set the focus. I switch it to manual focus, focus it on the subject at hand, and do the whole, you know, have someone stand where I'm going to be and mark a spot on the ground, and then get the focus set, start it recording, go stand in that spot, because it won't autofocus. But it shoots good video. I just don't use it anymore for it. I did in the early days when I first got the camera. I tried to use it. I kept getting stuff out of focus, so I decided against it. I have yet to shoot video with this camera at all. Phil, I think, uses his a good bit for video, but I haven't shot any video with this thing. Oh, well, it looked like you was getting good video with whatever you filmed it with. Phil came out with a video the other day where he went to a place near Chattanooga that had some special ducks, very colorful special ducks. And he had amazing video footage of these ducks. You shot that with the Z6? That footage was beautiful. What? And you say it won't take photos? Why didn't you just like press this button and get a photo? Because that video was amazing. Now I'm confused. I'm gonna put my super lens back on. Y'all didn't see that. Yeah, I tried to mount the S lens onto the FTZ adapter just then. It's in crop mode. Oh, well, take the photo and crop it. Just saying. Amar wants a D200. Why? You got a hole in your collection? Let's see. Now I have this widget, and I don't remember what was snapped on it earlier. Was it this thing? 24 mil. Was it a 24 millimeter? Don't remember. I got too much gear on the table. It's just getting kind of messy here. I got to put this stuff back. Come on, latch. There we go. All right. There's a bunch of lens caps. There's one. Here's one. Ah, now I feel better. Let's see. All right. Excuse me. True, Z7 would have been enough resolution for that. Really? Oh, okay. Use Nikon 55 to 300. Yeah, for bird photography. All right. I'll be honest with you, if you're wanting to shoot a DX lens, let me grab it. For general purpose, because I haven't given up on the Nikon DX sensor idea yet. There's a Z50 out there that I'm very interested in. Aaron just picked one up today and he was really bragging on it. But for general shooting, this lens is the magic. This is the 18-200 VR2 technically by Nikon, but it's a DX lens. And it's 3.5 to 5.6. So at 200 millimeters, it's 5.6. But the VR in it works really well. The glass is super clear. This is an amazing little lens. And now they make the 18-300, I think. Do you clean your sensor? Nikon Kodak D1. I've never heard of a D1. Not a Kodak. Is that the first digital camera? The first full pro version? You clean your sensor with spit like Peter Gregg? No. I use them fancy little wipey things. And then try not to spit on my sensor. That would kind of scare me a little. I haven't cleaned the sensor in the D810 in a long time. Then again, I haven't really took the lens on and off of it. I've shot with this 60 millimeter a lot. I like the 60 millimeter micro Nikkor for that one. Spit makes it organic. Spit makes it messy. Max, that's the Canon one, not one Nikon. D1 was a 2 megapixel camera for $25,000. Dude, I'm gonna have to go look up and see how much that camera costs now. It's got me curious. Improves dynamic range. Improves the price of your repair at Nikon's. What it improves. It improves their checkbook. $50. Dude, Amar's on fire tonight. Could you link? Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it out there. But yeah, it's the 18-200 millimeter. And it's the variable aperture, but get the one with the gold painted VR. They make one of these that was the first gen, it has, and the VR is marked in red. It's not as good of a lens for some reason. I don't remember exactly what the difference was, but the one with the gold paint was like the Gen 2 version, and it actually worked. And I used it on the D7000 for probably a year or 2 years. I ran this lens for like 2 years on the D7000. I had that camera for about 4 years. The first year I had it, I ran the 35 millimeter f1.8 exclusively. I never mounted the kit lens to the camera. I put that 35 mil f1.8 DX lens on it and shot that lens for a year. Then I bought this one and ran it for probably, is at least a year and a half. Might have been 2 years. And then after that, I started getting a few screw drive focus lenses because I found out there's a screw drive focus motor in the D7000. I started playing with a few of them. But yeah, the first 2 years, I used this and the 35 mil, and I had a lot of fun. Let's see what's come by now. Yeah. I don't remember where I was. When I was doing my research, I found out that the old ones this is red. Let's see. Max only shoots kit lenses. Yeah, but when you're shooting Leica, doesn't matter. When it's a Summicron, who cares if it's a kit lens? The kittier the better, he said. I got that plastic 18 to 55 in here somewhere. Which surprisingly takes really good photos with the plastic mount. Why you got to bring up the Leica? Hey, you're the one that went there, not me. Yeah, wrist mesh toy coming from the guy with the C200. But I was surprised that the camera metered just fine. I was wondering that myself when I read that comment. It got me to thinking, and I was like, yeah, I wonder, because, like I said, the XT3 does. Let's see what we got here. Max has got something. You need the Z50 so you can shoot those 2 killer kit lenses, Dave. Yeah, I would run the little one for street, sure enough. Anyone else here have over 50 megapixels? Well, let's see here. 20. Yeah, that's over 50. There's 24 and 36. That's 60 right there. The XT3 is the new Leica, Kentucky told us. Really? Did he say that? Oh, excuse me. Oh, Lord. That's how you was going to get 60 megapixels, was it? The D810 is still a great camera. I'm charging the batteries on it now. They're over there charging in the charger. That's what I took the picture of a minute ago. Was me charging all my batteries up. I had a surprisingly large number of dead Nikon batteries today when I got everything out. 27 to 300 on DX. Yeah, about that. That's equivalent field of view kind of thing. So, yeah, that's basically what it gives you. There's all one that has noisy 61 megapixel camera. Don't they still sell it new? The D810? I think they do, yeah. I believe you can still buy a brand new D810. Yeah, Phil said he wished the D800 that he has had a tilt screen. He'd still be shooting it. And that's one of the reasons that this camera don't see a lot of use, is the screen is firmly attached to the camera. You know, the camera is big, but that's not a big deal to me. I used it for 4 years really, because I've been using the XT3 a lot last year. But that the screen, because you got to look through the viewfinder or look at the screen in live view, and that forces me to climb up and down, up and down, up and down. And that was one of the things I really liked about the XT3 when I picked it up, was that you didn't have to do all that. With that screen folding out, it would allow me to get compositions, and you could kind of take a knee or squat down and get right down next to the ground and see what you was doing. Stop complaining, lay on the ground. Yeah, I like a 1DX shooter, okay. It's there. Yes, it's on my list for landscapes, Max. What is? Let's see. The D810. Yeah, it's a great camera. Even I need to check shutter actuations. I've probably got 50,000 in 5 years. You know, it's I don't have a high shutter count on this camera. None of my cameras get a lot of shutter counts typically. The XT3 is probably closing in on 25 or 30,000 in a year. That's a lot for me. I shot a lot last year with that. Let's see. I shot with a camera with a massive 1-inch screen today. Oh no! Stop complaining, lay on there. 4 megapixels. I'm too fat to stand back up after laying on the ground. Oh Lord. Ever since I broke my ankle, it's been more difficult. Grab this cap, keep the dust out of this lens. There we go. To get up and down off the ground, or I'm just 50 years old. And it could be some of that too. I wonder, now this has got me wondering, where'd I put that F to Z adapter at? There it is. We'll stick this little DX lens on here and see what it does. Supposedly, it'll automatically put the camera into crop mode, I think. Hey Phil, since you're here, tell me how to turn off that stupid sleep mode that keeps shutting off my camera in the middle of my compositions and crap. Let's see here. Okay. Oh boy, it done a bunch of crap. Hey, I got a picture. That works great. Y'all can't tell because it's overexposed to the world because of the camera. I come down to Tennessee for a shoot, but I need the time to see my siblings this June. Oh, you don't want to come in June. I don't know how the humidity is in Nebraska, but in this part of the country in June, if you ain't from here, you ain't gonna like the terrain. The humidity is about 98% in June. It'd be misery. See, still went to sleep. I want to know how to disable that crap. I want it to stay on, like run the battery down, kind of stay on, because this is annoying. Either that or I need to be able to increase the time, like let it go to sleep in 10 minutes or something, because it goes to sleep in like 1 minute. Excuse me. And it always does it about the time I'm going to review an image. Excuse me. I've done gotten choked on something. Of course, it's not going to do it while I'm talking about it. Oh, there it goes. There it went. See? Now, if I go to take a photo, it has to wake up. Did you hear all that? That's annoying. We'll let it go to sleep again. We'll see if I can just press the shutter and wake it up. You're bound to Jasper, Max. Have some protein shakes. Songwriter does that. Young at heart. Hey, Grant. I'm glad you logged in. All right, let's see. Is it going to sleep yet? Yep, there it goes. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's take a photo. Nope, did not capture a photo. Just woke the camera up. That I got to deal with. That's the only thing I found so far with the camera I really don't like. I don't start earning vacation time again until February. Well, that's in like 2 weeks. I'm at Costco with the 4 kids. I'll definitely watch the recap. All right. Well, thank you for checking in, Ed. Yeah, you might ought to take care of the 4 kids thing. It's not under your camera setup icon, Dave. Is it? I don't know. I looked around for it in the menu and couldn't find it. Let's see. I have to wake it up. Let's see. There's retouch. There's setup. Format, save, user, reset, user, language, time is on, monitor brightness, monitor color, viewfinder brightness, viewfinder color, control panel, limit monitor mode selection, automatic, view priority, information, display non-CPU lens data, clean the sensor, image comment, copyright beeps, touch controls, HDMI location, assign function button, and no. I don't know where it's at. I'm gonna have to hunt for it. It's in here though. You gotta be able to turn that sleep mode off. Surely you can. It works fine though. That lens works fine. That's kind of funny looking, isn't it? That's probably the first time I've ever mounted a DX lens to a FX camera. Come to think of it, I really don't think I've ever done that before. All right. There we go. Get all that sorted back out. Lay it down. There's another cover. Oh, that's right. I'm snapping on this lens. That's why. There. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? So what else you guys got for this evening? I'm listening. Crickets noises. C3. I don't know what a C3 is. C3. Oh, that's where it's at. Oh. That gives you 12 megapixel file when in DX crop mode. just did the math. Oh, it looked good on the little tiny bitty screen this big. Power off delay. Okay, C3. Oh, look, it's complaining because my lens is compressed. See. Power off delay. Look at there. Playback, menus, image review. Standby. 30 seconds. Who wants that? Give me 10 minutes on that one. 4-second review. Let's make it at least 10. Menus. 5 minutes. Playback. 10 seconds. At least 5 minutes on that. Now they're at reasonable timestamps. Thank you, Phil. Yeah. I looked everywhere for that, except there, apparently. Yeah, and to be honest with you, Max, the image is a little grainy. Not sure what the ISO is on. Let's see, it doesn't say. I also don't know how to get it to tell me the shutter speed and stuff on the display. I haven't found that setting either. I looked around for it the other day until I got sick of hunting for it. I tried all the different little buttons on the back and couldn't figure it out. I really should get the owner's manual out. Nikon D300 should last me a good bit till I get some skill on it. It'll do wonders. That's an awesome camera, dude. You want to run down the battery? Just put a big card in it and record video until the battery dies. What I really want to do is be able to be shooting street photography, pick it up, mash this button that says AF on, and then fire the shutter and take a photo and not have to go and then focus and take the picture. That's what I really want to do. Yeah, come up, focus, fire. That quick. That's what I was hoping to have. And I don't know, probably 4 times in the making of that video of me walking down in Chattanooga the other day, it did that. I missed like 4 or 5 really good shots that I was really bummed out about not getting because of that function. I knew it had to be something simple. I'm a little behind on the video. Nah, don't worry about it. Low power mode. Uh-oh. That's the sign that this live stream is almost over. My phone has just told me the battery is almost depleted and I don't have a way of powering it up. Figures. But yeah, the main reason of this live stream tonight was to have some fun with you guys, to enjoy the camaraderie of a live stream, and was to show that you can get metering with the FTZ adapter and the vintage Nikkor glass on the Z6, because that was a question that had came up. And I will add a link to one of these lenses. It won't be a affiliate link because I don't have any affiliate programs anymore. I tried setting up an Amazon affiliate program a long time ago, and I didn't sell enough product for them to keep it, so they shut me down. So I don't have any affiliate links anymore. So it'll just be a link to where you can find the lens, and it's just a normal link. But yeah, they do. Look.
Hi. I'm home. Did you miss me?
Uh-huh.
Nah, you were having fun with your cameras.
Yeah.
You're fine.
We're live streaming.
Hi, guys.
Let's see. Awesome live stream. Busted.
Yeah.
Works on Minolta adapter too. Won't set aperture across. Huh. Interesting. Which I bought one of the F-mount adapters, but it's just a simple plain dumb adapter. It's not one of the smart ones that communicates. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really want to see about getting a EF Canon lens, like one of the new ones. And who is it makes it? There's somebody makes it's the It's a smart adapter to hook a Z camera to like an EFS lens. Something to that effect. And I don't remember, I was hearing about it the other day. I can't remember the brand name now, but I guarantee it won't take long to Google and find it. But supposedly, since the flange distance is shortest on the Nikon, it goes from Nikon. No, it's not Metabones. It's another company. They might make one too. It ain't Photodiox. No. Hey, Aaron. Aaron Fringer. I think it's Fringer. It might be Fringer. But since they figured out that the Nikon is a 16 millimeter from flange to sensor, and the Sony EOS R is 18 millimeters, and then I think the Fuji is 20 mil, that they can adapt Canon glass to the Z and it'll work. Autofocus. It actually runs like it's a Nikon lens. So you can actually have Canon glass on your Nikon camera and it works fine. And the video I saw, it was focusing fast. It wasn't like real sluggish and hunting and all that. It just zip and it was working. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all logging in and spending the time with me tonight.
He's gonna have ears. Hang on, I gotta. No. Oh. Get up, side head.
Yeah, Long Rider said those adapters they've got them for the Sony too. But Aaron, who commented a minute ago, got his Z50 today. It's producing insane photos, like shockingly good photos. Oh, by the way, Sierra, I dumped those old beans in the chicken pen for the chickens.
Thank you.
They love green beans. They walked in the brown ones, the regular like Crowder peas or whatever they were. They were walking on them to eat the green beans.
Nice.
It's like they didn't want them other ones.
Well.
It was weird. They ate all the broccoli, all the green beans, all the macaroni.
Oh.
Everything but those beans. Then they started eating them.
Oh, they're the last pick.
Yeah, it was funny. It was fun. Slowed me down working on my Nick Carver is not as cool as David Saylor's video. Oh boy, I can see how fun this video is going to be. The kit lenses for the Z50 are awesome. Yeah, from what Aaron was saying and the pictures he sent me, dude, that camera, it rocks. Especially for like a keep with you everywhere you go camera. It's light, small, and took phenomenal photos. Just kidding about that last part. Crap, I was kind of hoping that was the title. That was going to be awesome. I would have to like share it on social media or something if that was the name of the video.
Are you bribing him?
Aaron says it's not bad. Yeah. Phil says Z50 has flip screen equals Phil buys one. The camera will be going out the door with me every day. Does it have a side flipping screen, Aaron? Answer that question right quick. You know, this one tilts up. Does that one flip out this way to here, like this way? As Camera Conspiracy says, flippy screen.
The true technical term.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a flippy screen. That's why I use a GoPro. Negative. Oh, well, Phil, you can't have it. Unless you want to buy one of them goofy-looking mirror deals. Bottom flipping. Oh, there you go. All right, Phil. He says it flips down. So you got that reverse angle. Of course, you can't mount it on tripods. You'll have to put it on a... How would you use that? You have to hold it by the lens? No, because then your hand's still in the way. Yeah, it gets in the way of the tripod. I guess you'd have to run some kind of rig base that brings it out to the side so that you have a handle out here. You know, like a little flat plate, a thin plate that would come out here to maybe has an Arca Swiss mount over here on it or something with a handle. Maybe you run a video rig like that. Yeah. Z52. Yeah, it sounds about right. mm. That's the only problem I have with this camera. That's why I don't shoot video with it. It don't flip around the side. I mean, I haven't bothered to shoot forward-facing video either. That's why I don't shoot video with the XT3. I mean, I did Danny's wedding with it, but she didn't really have a lot of expectations.
She had none, so you surpassed all of them.
Yeah, I told her you're getting exactly what you're paying for. They have cages for them. Okay. The Z50 sounds good to everybody. Amar almost had me getting one. Amar, oh boy. They have the M50 as well. No, that's Canon, isn't it? That camera's been brought up once tonight. Still fighting that cough off. Yeah, the XT3, it's a great machine, but I'll be honest with you, that mode dial sticking, if you watch my video about it, that mode dial is an issue. It really reared its head in Israel. It started showing up more there. And we wasn't in like dust. You know, the desert dusty environment, it wasn't that dusty.
It wasn't really dusty at all.
No, it wasn't.
It was more like just like dirt.
Yeah. I mean, when we went to Petra, there was a little dust, but not much. But it was already sticking pretty bad. I don't think I did get sand in it because I'm pretty careful about keeping my camera gear out of the dirt and out of the rain. Even though it says it's weatherproof, I try not to put them in the rain, you know. Let's see here, he says, Aaron says, I would think I would have had more fun with the Fuji, but I was able to stay in the Nikon ecosystem and I can shove this in a big pocket. The XT3 really isn't a pocketable camera. It's just too big. You would have to get like an X100F or maybe what's that little brother to it, the X300T or whatever that thing is, that XT30, that's it. It's a smaller form factor version, and you could have got one of the like the 23 millimeter f2, which is a little thin lens. You could have run that, and you know it'd be a pocketable rig, but you're stuck with one focal length. And I think you've got a little zoom lens, which gives you some range. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I'll just be honest with you. That whole metering with the original AI and AIS lenses, I wasn't really expecting that to work as good as it did. Which, since it doesn't know the aperture, it really can't give you accurate measurements. You know, that's why it was giving me weird values. But when you go into manual, it ignores all that, and you're just basically dialing in the values you want. You know, you're just opening the shutter until the center exposes, and it's just saving the data. It just doesn't know for the metadata what the aperture set on. Let's come by. The Z50 is a version 3, and D500's left is a V3, whatever a V3 is. It's a great camera. I was thinking about something, sorry. But if you really want to do photography, you got to get one of these. What are you doing? Did I hit the shutter? Apparently I did. It just took a long exposure frame. There we go. That's the sound you want to hear. That's a shutter. The D810 has actually one of the quietest shutters in a Nikon DSLR. Still unhappy with Sony Northrop for trashing it. Like a hammer on an anvil, unless in quiet mode. Oh, dude. You should bring your D800. They claim that this one and the D800 is night and day. Let's see, your quiet mode is, here's quiet continuous. I just took a whole bunch of blurry photos because I didn't bother to hit the focus button. It's actually, it's a quiet machine. Shockingly quiet to be such a large form factor camera. Let's see. This one's quieter. It really is. This one, I would like to hear like a camera with a leaf shutter compared to this to see what how much quieter. Because I know that leaf shutter's quieter. You know, the Leica, of course, uses it. There's a couple of other cameras that use a leaf shutter too. Who is it that is it's the guy, I think he's from Finland. Mattis Burling, isn't that his name? He's the one that does all the little, like the Ryko street photography cameras. Maxim said, yeah, Maxim says, you mean, Tony, everybody trash your crap cameras to get 4K, except I changed my mind and went back to 1080p Northrop. You know why? Because he got tired of dealing with them giant files filling up all of his hard drive space. There was no value in them huge by large files. And that whole future proofing was a fallacy from the outset. Yeah. I've never shot in 4K, not one time. No, I take that back. I did it on my iPhone once because the iPhone 10 will shoot 4K.
What is 4K?
It's 4 times the resolution of the regular HD 1080.
Such a large file.
Because it gives you latitude, like you can crop it in the video editor. Say you got your composition a little off, you can actually crop it and it's still 1080 HD when you output it. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of latitude in editing, but it takes a lot of computer power to process it. And I don't want to spend the money on the computer to be able to just edit YouTube videos. Sorry guys, but I'm not dropping that kind of coin on a computer just for YouTube videos. When you see what YouTube gets done doing to my 1080 HD video, it's kind of painful. Yeah. And Phil says he never considered going 4K. My computer's too slow, and I figure most of my viewers is too. Not to mention most people don't have EPD-FI. When he says EPD-FI, he means, you know, we live in Chattanooga, or he does, I guess. Chattanooga is called Gig City. It was like the test bed for gigabit internet speed. So they have like the fastest internet in the country. And so they nickname it Gig City. Yeah. And it's provided by the power board. EPB is electric power board. That's what he means when he says that.
Fiber optics.
Yeah. That's the fastest internet available on Earth. And they have it. I bet the U.S. government has faster internet.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Your ear is the last to get it. I don't have it. I'm on ADSL. Yeah, asymmetrical DSL. I'm surprised we haven't started having trouble with the stream since Sierra's got home, because now I'm having to share the bandwidth with her.
I haven't been doing anything on my phone. I texted
Anna. That's why. The moment you look up something on the web, it's going to shut this down, basically.
Here, I got it. I'll open my word game.
Uh-huh.
That'll eat up all the internet.
Of the EPD electricity peeps.
I'm gonna go talk to Jessica.
All right.
He said he could talk.
But yeah, if you guys have any questions about, oh my God, my daughter is the queen of bandwidth use. That's what Phil said. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This girl here, she's wearing my coat. What are you doing with my coat?
It's warm. It's wool.
I know. No, it's fleece. But anyway,
It's warm.
that's my cheap coat I got at the Dollar Saver store.
Well, at least it's a cheap one.
But you see what happens.
Ooh, I like this hat.
Hey, that's all right. That's the one that Phil gave you that I stole from you.
Hey! You're just as bad as me. Rude.
Smell of it. It should smell good from where I took it into IWG today.
I'm not doing that.
They make medical, like special medical tubing and stuff for like IVs with wire in the wall of the tubing. So the factory smells like, well, it's that nitric acid like cleaner that they clean medical instruments with. It smells like Band-Aids. Has that odor, the whole factory. So now my coat and her toboggan that I swiped will smell that way. Bass Angler said, go climb some rocks and get off the internet. Rahul, how you doing? Thank you for logging in. What?
I like cat videos.
Well, yeah, that's how we know that society has pinnacled as a technological race.
Yeah.
I have this little handheld computers that I watch cat videos on.
We have cats. We could just go watch them.
Yeah, they're right. Well, they're very lazy now.
Very lazy.
They've all gotten fat, so they just lay around.
Yeah.
Nice. DX10 says he just picked up a low pro flip side 300 AW11 backpack for travel. I'll have to look and see about that one. I'm currently using the, not Man Photo, the Think Tank Photo. I think it's called the Streetwalker 2. That's what the XT3 gear is riding around in. Complete knowledge of human race is not as good as cat videos. There's some truth in that. But yeah, my current 3 camera bags of choice are the Think Tank Photo. This is called the Airport Security 2. That's my roller bag that the D810 rides in, and all the big lenses. And then I use the Peak Design Everyday Messenger, the one I've had for years now. I still use it. It's sitting right behind it. All this stuff is right here in the floor where I've been sorting through all these cameras and getting everything cleared up, because I'm going tomorrow to take photos. More to come on that. But behind it is the other Think Tank Photo, the little backpack. Timber Rules. I have one of those too, but it's so small that I struggle to find a legit use for it. I've thought about carrying it for street photography, but I've actually reduced my street photography when I'm out actually shooting street to this little backpack. I use a belt pouch now. It has a pocket on the front. I stick a battery and a couple of memory cards in it. I got a lens. Yeah, that's a F2 Minolta adapter, no, Pentax. And then on the inside, it's got another little pocket, and I carry some business cards in it now. But I carry one more lens and a couple of batteries, and that's all I take. I actually carry a spare memory card for the GoPro in it, because, yeah, if you haven't learned yet with GoPros, don't buy over 32 gigabyte cards. I try to run 64 gig cards, and you keep getting card errors. If you'll just go ahead and buckle down and run the, oh no, a lens cloth, and run the 32 gig cards, you'll quit having those memory card errors. That's what's wrong. It's having trouble recognizing all the memory. It'll recognize it and it'll record to it, and then all at once you'll get a funny beep, and it'll say card failed or card error. It says card error. You power the camera down, power it back on, and it'll work fine. And then occasionally it'll go to write into the card, and it'll just give you a card error. And I think it's because it's just too much memory. It can't recognize all the memory. But 32 gig cards work fine. So I've pulled them back to 32s, and that gives you about an hour of video. So I just carry 2 of them. Maybe it's a 6, huh? Yeah, the Think Tank photo bags all have rain covers. I do like that about them. 64 of mine. Huh, yeah. Hey, what is it?
Good morning.
It's not morning at all. It's not.
Well, it does go home.
Teresa's right here. What? High five. You have fun? Good. I seen what you did. That was sneaky. You made sure your hair was okay before you went by the camera. Just that. Look, you don't use yours except in water. You use mine everywhere. See?
Get my hand. Quit acting weird.
There you go. Weird? I ain't the one acting weird.
No, you always give me a hug.
Oh. I have been testing. Of course, this one's actual GoPro brand battery. I've been testing a secondary brand of battery for my GoPros. I have found that if I use mine much, I run the batteries down. So I've bought like 3 or 4 extras, and so now I have a whole bunch of these. But these other batteries work fine, but they don't seem to last quite as long. Even though they claim they got more milliamp hours than a legit GoPro battery, it seems like this one has more energy. But they work. I don't seem to get the operational life as a legit battery out. But yeah, my table's covered in stuff right now. Like, let me just give you a quick flyby here. Look at this. Gonna come out of the frame. This is what I'm dealing with. Hey. That was my share what all the stuff right out of camera shot is with you guys. Yeah, Phil says rolling heavy. Yeah. I'm gonna be. There's all sorts of stuff laying here, but almost everything on the table is Nikkor today. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna log off because it's done gave me the 10% warning a long time ago. Any minute now, this thing's just gonna shut off. I'm just gonna say it. It actually, I think I see it fading in and out. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. It looks like the background's getting darker and brighter. Maybe it's because of my hand. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's exposure compensation. But I appreciate you guys logging in with me and sticking around as long as you have. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's down there, I think. And, you know, if you want notifications, you know where all that's at. And I appreciate you guys following along. Good night, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate it. Really do. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see.